everyone, and welcome to day 5 of our online yoga series. Today we're going to be focusing on balancing postures or asanas, and we're going to be breaking these down into parts, and the easy parts will come first, and then the harder parts will get pretty advanced. So I encourage you to have a chair nearby that you can use to help you balance, so that you can get a little bit deeper into these poses. And then please, if you recognize that some of these more advanced parts of the poses are a little too much for you, go ahead and stay with the level that you feel like is appropriate for the duration of the pose, because you'll still be building body awareness and hip strength and core strength in all of these postures throughout our session today. But while we get started, I want us to get warmed up with a pranayama deep breathing exercise again, and then a flow through a quick sun salutation so that we can be nice and warmed up. If you're not familiar with these, or if you're still struggling with them a little bit, go back and review videos number 1 and 2 of our yoga series so you can really build a good foundation in these. So go ahead and come standing right to the front of your mat for pranayama deep breathing exercise. Remember, we have 2 main parts of the inhale. You're going to be first inhaling deeply with your diaphragm, that low breath, and then second, you're going to inhale to fill your accessory breath space. That way you have full capacity of air in your lungs. And then as you exhale, you're going to be using the Ujjayi breath, so a closed soft palate like you're fogging a windshield, up as you're bringing your elbows together. And you're going to inhale, bringing your elbows close to your ears. So everyone, get ready to start. We're going to have an 8 count to the inhale and exhale each. Go ahead and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and exhale. 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Deepest breath of your day. And exhale. And relax your arms down. Go ahead and roll the shoulders out a little bit. Feels good. And now we're going to go straight into our sun salutation, flowing for warm-up. So go ahead and come to the top of your mat. Deep inhale, bring arms overhead. And exhale, leaning weight to your heels for chair pose. Deep inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and come into forward fold. We're going to bend one knee and then the other, pedaling it out just to warm up. Go ahead and pause and even give your knees a couple bending down and up. Now we're going to come up to a half back here. Deep breath in and out. And coming back down to forward fold, grasping the elbows. And stepping it back to plank pose. We're going to come down to our knees and slowly lower down, then back up into a baby cobra. Curling the toes under and back into a downward dog. Deep breaths here. Plant your left foot and right foot up. Stepping it on through to a deep lunge. We're going to bring it up into a crescent pose. That's a lunge pose. Check in with your hip alignment. Coming back down into plank. Down to the knees and slowly lower. Baby cobra. Go ahead and get a little bit of spinal rotation here. And lowering back down, curl the toes under. On the exhale, back into downward dog. Plant the right foot, extend the left, and step it on through to that lunge position. Bring it up. And back down to plank one last time. Lower down. Baby cobra. Tuck the toes. Downward dog. And go ahead and walk it up to the front of your mat. Forward fold. To just a half back, knees slightly bent. Think about lengthening your spine. Focus on your breath. Back down to forward fold. And then the knees sitting back into chair. And back to standing, open the arms, and that'll finish our warm-up. So now we're going to go right into our balancing poses, starting with one that really gets the heart rate up. It's called balancing stick pose. So go ahead and have your chair close by. I prefer it at the front of the mat for this one. Start standing, feet together at the back of your mat, arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers and extending just your pointer fingers. Try to squeeze the arms so your elbows are close to your ears. You're going to step one foot forward, right foot forward, and you're going to come bending straight down trying to come to a T shape, not letting this left hip bounce up, but trying to keep it level to the ground. Slight bend in that right planted knee. And go ahead and come back up. Arms back down at your side. Take a few deep breaths here. It's normal to have your heart racing a bit. So just a few deep inhales. All right, inhale, arms overhead, and let's bring the left foot forward this time. Coming down, arms and legs moving together as one. And go ahead and reach out for that chair if you need it. Try to keep that left leg nice and tight. Strengthening up that left hip by holding your posture here. If you feel you're ready, go ahead and try to release your arms from the chair. And coming back steady, release the arms down to your side. A few deep breaths here again to catch your heart rate. All right, and let's do a second set of balancing stick pose. Inhale, arms overhead. Right foot stepping forward, arms and legs coming down together as one. Try to keep the hips in line with each other. Focus on the breath here. The breath will give you power to get to the end of the pose. And stepping on back. Arms down to your side. A few inhales. And last time, inhale, arms overhead. Left foot stepping forward. Coming down parallel to the floor. Engage that balancing leg. Feel like you're grounding down into four corners of the foot. Try to lift that right leg back behind you a little bit higher, engaging those glutes. Focus on the breath. And coming back to mountain pose. Few deep breaths here. All right, go ahead and come to the center of your mat, close over to your chair here. We're going to do one of the most common balancing poses in yoga, which is tree pose, but we're going to take it a few steps farther if you feel you're ready. Going to have a lot of flexibility in the hamstrings, so if you feel like your hamstrings are tight, don't feel like you need to push to get to these second and third steps of this pose, which are folding forward and then toe stand. But let's start just with tree pose. So now let's start with our right foot coming up here. And let's do just below the knee. And we're going to gently press out. Try to keep your hips in line here. And take a few breaths balancing here. So this is a low tree pose. In tree pose, there's a few different options to your pose. So starting here in low tree pose, now we're going to bring it up into high tree pose. So you might want to use that right hand to help get you there. And you're going to be placing the foot above that left knee. So you can go above the left knee, below the left knee. You can also go in the hip crease, which we're going to try next. But the main thing is we don't want to put the right foot directly on the left knee joint, causing unnecessary stress there. So there's really no right or wrong between high, low, or hip crease. Just wherever you feel like you're at in your practice or wherever feels good for you. But try not to press directly on that standing knee. All right, so now let's bring, like you're holding a cup of soup with your left hand. You're gonna grasp that left foot and just be nice and gentle. Use that chair if you have to, with letting that right knee rest on down. Few deep breaths here. If you feel like you're having trouble balancing, try looking a couple feet, 2 to 3 in front of you on the ground and just focusing on a spot there. Try to use the chair as little as possible, but if you're really struggling too, do note that the thickness of your yoga mat, the thicker it is, the more difficult it is to balance on. So, all right. So now if you feel like you're ready, we're going to go into single leg forward fold here. So we're going to start hinging at the hips, still holding that right foot, and we're going to start reaching towards the ground. From here, you can start slowly bending down into a toe stand, bringing the hands around and holding here. Right now my hips, their weight is mostly on my left foot. But if you feel like you have enough power, you can pop up off that heel. I'm not quite there yet. And now we're going to try to come out the same way we went back in. So looking forward to catch that balance. Rocking forward. Powering through that heel to a standing position. And bringing it up. Focusing on that spot in front of you. Using the chair if you need to. And then return to standing. Whew. Shake that left leg out. Probably pretty tired. Like I said, we're building a lot of hip strength, core stability, and overall body awareness with these balancing poses. You can really feel it in these leg muscles here. All right. So now, switching sides for this tree pose series. Starting with low tree. Opening that hip. Working on hip alignment here, not tilting too much of your pelvis. And a few deep breaths. Now coming up into a high tree pose. Gently pressing out here. Bring that right hand cupping that left foot, gently letting that left knee come down. Don't force this one if you don't feel like you're there yet. Focus on a spot on the floor in front of you. Focus on the deep inhale. Now if you feel you're ready, you can hinge at the hips, bending forward. Focus on that spot in front of you until your hands reach the floor. If your hands are not reaching the floor yet, don't go into toe stand yet. But if your hands are reaching the floor, you can go ahead and bend that standing knee, bringing the hands around. And practice here for a second. A few deep breaths. And now bring the hands forward. Weight forward a little bit as you press your weight into that standing leg. Coming up. Try to lock that knee out before we come up nice and slow. Hands to namaskar. And go ahead and bring that left foot down. Shake it out a little bit. All right, and now we're gonna go into a wide-legged pose, slightly pigeon toe the feet, and we're gonna have a nice tall chest, just hinging at the hips, coming straight down, all the way to the floor. Take a few deep breaths here. we're going to plant the right hand down in the middle of you and raise the left hand up to the sky. Head turning, following that left fingertips. A few deep breaths here. And bring that left hand down, right hand switching up to the sky. And right hand coming down. We're going to turn that right foot out and bend the right knee and going straight into a warrior two pose. So I'm pressing my weight towards that left outer side of my foot, so I'm not letting my arch collapse in. I'm pressing my weight outwards. Arms nice and wide, and we're going to go into a triangle pose. So bring right fingertips towards your toes, left hand up to the sky, gaze following the fingertips of that left hand. A few deep breaths here. And coming on up. Right toes in, left toes out, left knee bent. Nice and wide arms here. Weight pressing into that right edge of your foot. And coming back down into triangle pose. Press that right forward hip. Feel the stretch opening. And coming on up. Left foot in rather, and bringing it straight to standing. Go ahead and roll those shoulders out a little bit. Alright, so next we're going to be standing bow pulling pose. This is an advanced posture, and if you have pain with back extension, I'd advise you to hold off on this, but as long as it feels fine, you're not feeling any pain in your back, go ahead and try this pose with me. We're first going to start with right hand, like you're holding a bowl of soup, and you're going to reach down and pick that foot up. So my fingers are actually facing outwards here. I'm going to bring that left arm up here. Make sure your left knee is nice and strong base, not bending at all. And you're going to kick into that right hand as you lean forward here. A few deep breaths. And coming back up to standing. All right, now left hand open like you're holding a bowl of soup. You're gonna drop it down and pick up that left foot. Fingers facing out here. Right arm up towards your ears. Kick into that left arm as you're bringing your body down nice and slow. Focus on the breath. And coming back up, center. Go ahead, take a few deep breaths here. This is another one that really gets your heart rate going, burns some extra calories. So go ahead and calm it back down. And now we're going to try one more set of this standing bow pulling pose, and then we're going to hit the floor for a little bit of Savasana before we finish our session. So right hand open. Holding that right foot, kicking that right foot into the right hand as you come down nice and slow. started. And switching sides, left hand open. Right arm towards your ear. And with your exhale, pushing on down. And coming back up. And releasing. So now we're going to head onto the floor and finish our session the same way that we finish all of our sessions, and that is in a pose that we call Savasana, or dead body pose. So we can focus in on our breath and let our body integrate all of our hard work of our yoga practice. So go ahead and move your chair if you need to. Heels together. Toes fallen open, palms facing the sky. Focus on relaxing all of your muscles, just letting them melt into the floor here. And focus in on that breath. Open your eyes and wiggle your fingers and toes. Slowly start to wake up. Turn over on your side and come to a seated position. And I just want to thank you guys all for joining me again today for our Day 5 yoga series. And just to let you know, we'll be having our Day 6 of the yoga series this Thursday, same time, 5:30. And we're going to be doing a fun vinyasa flow session, which means we're going to be flowing through a lot of postures, and I'm just going to put on some fun music for us. So hopefully you feel a little bit more comfortable with some of these poses that we're doing, because you'll probably see them again, and I'll be talking slightly less so we can just have fun and enjoy ourselves. So hope to see you there. Thanks for joining again, guys.